And it is going to be Team Killing Spree KS Zeppish versus Risk of Integrity Gaming Gallegation.
Yes, Risk of Integrity Gaming. Sorry, I'm playing with chat. So, Risk is on Twitter. You can find him twitter.com/Carter L. Woetzel, Woetzel. It's probably easier if I just post it in chat. There it is. That is his Twitter feed. You can also find him on Twitch at twitch.tv/URRisk. That is U as in the letter U. And as we said, his name's Carter Woetzel. He started playing at age 12 when the Wings of Liberty game came out. He started by sneaking onto his brother's account just to play 1v1s, and started in Browns, but made his way up to High Masters. He feels that the competition in StarCraft 2 has helped him to grow personally, training him to think critically in high-pressure situations, and he's enjoyed tracking his improvement and having good practice partners. As a Zerg player, he hopes swarm hosts are removed, and he says, quote-unquote, Mutalisk for life with a heart, similar to the one posted in chat by yours truly.
Very, very well played. Yes, a lot of people saying that about this farmhouse. But jumping on into game number 3, we'll see if we end up seeing any of them. We haven't seen too many of them in the ZVTs, but we will find out in the upper left-hand corner. Representing blue, Team Killing Spree, and the race Terran, it is KS Zeppish.
And in the bottom left-hand corner, playing Zerg once again. So many Zerg games this evening. It's great. I love it. From Integrity Gaming, it is Risk.
ZVT, once again, Gallegation. I feel like this is a pretty easy one to cast after all the games we've seen lately. I'm definitely not turned off by it. It's been some good times, lots of good games. And Risk not taking any risks here as he is sending out that drone very quickly to scout out his opponent. But is he going to send it the right direction? It looks like the answer is no, as it is going off to the right, walking almost exactly right past his opponent.
Yeah, I think that the idea here was to try and get the far scout a little bit sooner and have the Overlord go into the mainway, but I almost feel like he's going to realize that his opponent isn't in that across map position and be able to get the drone into where he actually is before the Overlord's anywhere near. But I guess that's his plan. We'll see if it actually plays out that way.
Yep, and it looks like it is going to be a barracks with a gas coming down relatively quickly, so we will possibly see Reapers. Seems like that's 9 out of 10 times the opening we've been seeing lately. Not as many early Marine openings because those Reapers are so pesky, like little gnats.
Yeah, they really are, and that Hellion Reaper kind of follow-up to that is a really strong play. A lot of people are having a hard time with it. Sometimes we see it get shoved back really well, but it can get some damage done.
And then even follow it up with that Cloaked Banshee. We saw that cause HTW a little bit of trouble there in the first game, but he did overcome it quickly. But now Zeppish is going to be doing that scouting thing his own self. Sees his opponent is not on the upper right and going to be heading down to the lower left, and he will make it to the the lower right. I did it again. And he'll be heading down to the lower left eventually, but the Reaper is headed out, so he will be sending that Reaper likely to the other side, which will be the right side, but the left. Now everyone's really confused.
Yes.
The correct side.
Up, down, left, right, AD start.
So it looks like he's going to be pushing out some double Reapers. What is this?
Yeah, there's a reactor here.
Reactor coming down here. So maybe one Reaper right into Marines. We've seen that quite a bit. Oh wow, actually a command center coming down also, and he is still mining gas out of here with 3. So I kind of want to say that I would expect Reapers, because otherwise I'm not sure what he would use this gas for, as we don't see factory really coming down, but we'll see once he gets 150 minerals and a little bit of gas if he does end up throwing that factory down.
So Risk, in the meantime, was able to scout that natural. He did have that drone still up there and is getting queens out, still going that no gas early play, which we've been liking. Does have some Zerglings out to try and deal with that Reaper when it finally comes in and chase it away, and sure enough, it is hopping up on in right now. There is a queen there. The Lings are moving back onto creep to try and deal with it, and Reaper not even able to take a shot before being forced out.
Yeah, with one Reaper, you're not really concerned about doing any damage. You're just going in there to see what's up, and he saw everything he wanted to see, which is no gas and a spawning pool, but that gas does go down shortly after he leaves. I'm actually not sure if he saw that gas.
He did see that. He saw the gas go down.
Yes, he did, just barely. So he will know that there is a gas, so that means speed will be coming eventually, but definitely not rushing the gas, as he still only has one. Likely going to be going for a third base here relatively shortly. Factory is down, switching to the reactor. Going to be seeing some Hellions coming out of that bad boy, with 2 more barracks coming on down as well.
That's right. So going to be doing some of that Hellion follow-up. There's not as many Reapers as sometimes you see. A lot of times Terrans will get 2 when they're going to be doing this. And that barracks is kind of just sitting there idly, so it could be doing something at this point. But, you know, choosing to use this money for other things, that's great. That's fine. No problems there. The Reaper's still kind of hanging out in the middle of the map to make sure that nothing is moving out from his opponent, maintain some type of vision there.
There's a really nice placement in that bunker here at the natural expansion of Zepish. He kind of has it right between the mineral patches of the natural expansion and the ramp, so that Zergling trying to run up the ramp was not able to make it by, and also still sort of protects the mineral line there. Really like that.
Mm-hmm.
Marine
Yes,
here
sir.
standing at the south side of his main base, watching for any pesky overlords that may be coming out, but that Reaper and 2 Hellions are going to be scouting their way around here to deny any creep spread or any other Zerglings coming out, but the wall evolution chambers going down as well here, which has been fairly common these days.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised he decided to attack them this way. Obviously, he couldn't know for sure what was going on in his opponent's base, but the best way to attack would be from the other direction. He could wrap around the back side of where those drones are, and I mean, you can almost kind of anticipate that the heaviest defenses are going to be in between the 2 and towards your opponent. So if they could wrap around behind, even take out some of those gas drones, that would be a big pickup. But doesn't want to overcommit, and just grabbed a couple of Zerglings, kind of poking around, making sure that his opponent is aware that there is stuff around, and he's locked down.
We did have another 7-minute layer coming out of Risk as well, but this is going to be a much different one than what we saw last game, with that Baneling nest coming down. Likely going to be going for speed Banelings, which is definitely awesome, as well as +2/+2, +1/+1 now just started.
Yeah,
but I definitely like the
as well.
I definitely like the Ling Baneling play a little bit more in this matchup these days. Yeah, Spire now, but these Hellions still are, you know, they're just kind of hovering in this nice choke here, because if those Zerglings try and chase them down, they're going to be in a real bit of pain.
Yeah, and I mean, that's why that spine crawler's there. If you're not going to go roaches, you've got to have queens, you got to have spine crawlers, you got to have something meaty to try and force those Hellions back. But behind this, it is not Hellions. Of course, we know it's going to be bio. There's some medevacs being pushed out. Stim is wrapping up right now, +1 attack being researched, and Marines and Marauders being produced en masse.
Good scan here as the Hellions come on up the ramp, taking out a couple creep tumors, and they are staying nice together, but these Lings are trying to get us around. They do get us around on one, and one of those Hellions is taken out. Actually, thought maybe he would get a couple nice shots off there on those Lings. They were so bunched up, but being a little bit of safe, not wanting to get too overzealous with those Hellions, as they are kind of what's keeping those Zerglings at bay at the moment.
Right, but it looks like they're running into each other once again. Does get a few shots off, but without Blue Flame, they don't roast nearly as quickly, and they are running back home. Those Lings are able to chase down one of the Reapers, and are pretty satisfied with that, going to head back home.
Poorly informed. I don't know if you are actually poorly informed or not, but I posted about the stream on Twitter. I'm not sure if Troy may have caught it, but yes, follow the Twitters and you will see Wingnet SC and Galligation, as well as SC2CTL. Wow, actually, he dropped those Hellions there. Oh no, the Hellbats, Galligation.
Yep, and they are going to be moving in here, but there are Mutalisks now, and there's not a whole lot that can shoot up at the moment with this army, but Mutalisks aren't the best at doing a ton of damage, and wow, the Lings are just getting roasted as they're running around. Do get the surrounds finally, but a lot of kills on that. But the Mutalisks are able to chase away the Medevacs and the Hellions.
Yeah, and now Zepish is going to have to put down some turrets like a boss in his base here. He does have a decent number of Marines, but those Hellbats are going to be pretty useless against these Mutalisks. Going to be moving up here. Stim Marines try and pinch them off, but now they're going to be running after him through the maze that is his base here, which makes it very difficult to chase those Mutalisks down.
That's right. Third base is up and running now for Risk, getting some drones over there. Going to start mining gas there as well. And getting his upgrades, gets that Zerg flying attack level 1 going down, and his melee attack level 1 going down as well. Finally going to see some Banelings being morphed in here too.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely like seeing those banelings, especially against the Marine army that we're seeing here. There are no combat shields on these Marines, Gallegation.
Well, that is a mistake.
Ruh-roh, that's going to come
Yes.
back to bite you when those banelings come rolling on in.
Yeah, they are being researched and they are almost done, but they've got some time left on them before they're going to make it. About 20 seconds remain, so probably by the time that these Marines are going to be hitting, it'll probably be done, and it's probably why he's actually staying back and not moving in just yet. But 3 changelings are moving in with this army now.
Yeah, combat shields is finishing up just now, but he did see that it was complete, and this is actually becoming a formidable force here of Marines. +1/+1 for the ground units done for Zerg, and +1 attack, +1 armor on its way, as well as +2 attack. So if Zepish keeps up these upgrades, he will be able to get himself in a pretty good position here, but he is sort of a little bit open here to the Mutalisk still. He's putting up more turrets to kind of stop those flybys, which is definitely good. High-sec auto-tracking would help a lot too, but he's still just kind of staying back, being defensive. This is a pretty wide open map, and to be honest, Risk has some really good vision. He's got overlords all over the place, and Zepish really hasn't been able to do much to clean them up yet.
Total amount of banelings is up to 14 at this point, and more are in production. The army supply is fairly even between the 2 players, but the worker supply is heavily in the Zerg's favor, which is not atypical for this matchup.
No, but third base is headed on out for Zepish. He's being really defensive here, keeping his army spread out really nicely here, defending all of his bases, not being aggressive at all on the map. You'd kind of by now typically expect to be seeing a couple drops going out here to sort of put a little bit of pressure on the economy of the Zerg opponent. Those Mutalisks, though, did spot this medevac that is heading down the left side, and if they keep on flying, we'll be able to catch it. Boost is on cooldown.
And that is not good news. Zepish is not even able to drop Marines, so the whole thing goes down.
2 Zerglings just wandered their way right into the main base of Zepish, and they are going to start whittling away at these turrets, which is a big deal because this is going to totally open it up for those Mutalisks, and the army is so far away they can't make it back to clean up these 2 Zerglings.
Yeah, and so that's going to give the Mutalisks kind of some free shots on these barracks infrastructure. The Marines are going to be hanging out there for a little bit to try and hold that back, but that just kind of pulls some of your army out of position. Definitely not where you want to be. Mutalisks are moving around trying to clean up some stray Marines and limit the vision. More Zerglings are streaming across the map, and Risk is really taking advantage of the fact that his opponent is not attacking. You know, he's just expanding across the bottom half of the map, spreading out his creep, building his army. Now he's deciding to go on the offensive as well, and this is a huge amount of Zerglings. Army supply is now in the Zerg favor by about 30, and is going to be engaging here very shortly.
And there comes the big engagement. Zerglings running right past the battle units to surround them. Banelings coming in, making good connections. No attempt by Zepish whatsoever to try and split and avoid them. Banelings just rolling right on in, and Banelings heading into that third base as well as the natural now, just absolutely ravaging that army of Zepish.
Yeah, there are some reinforcements coming in now as the forward aggressors have been taken out, but not before this orbital command gets, and now moving forward to try and deal with this small group of Marines backing up, trying to prevent the surround. That barracks or that bunker didn't have anybody in it. Now finally getting some things in it, but it's not going to last very long. And decent place to put those Marines there, actually getting a lot of kills, but these Mutalisks are able to do a decent amount of damage. And but yeah, really able to prevent that surround. There were no banelings left, really. There's kind of one there. Now more are morphing in.
Yeah, I was just focusing in on that one baneling that was just having a sandwich there while the rest of the army was sacrificing itself to what is the nice little burrow zone there that all the Marines were in. But now the Zerglings are going to be heading in. Thor's not so good against Zerglings, but the banelings do walk right on past that Thor. And they are going to walk right into the Marines of Zepish, and he gives the GG.
Wow.
Yeah, that was pretty intense there. And, you know, honestly, Zepish was just too passive.
Yeah.
I really think, you know, I mean, and Risk was doing a good job of kind of just doing little pokes here and there to just, like, keep him off his game, like those 2 Zerglings making it into the main base. He actually had to send some of his army to go deal with those 2 Zerglings, rather than potentially gearing up for an attack. But Definitely the army composition I like to see at the end of a TVZ. Lots of lings, lots of banelings, lots of meatless. Good stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw the effectiveness of it right there. They were able to move in, and granted, like the splits weren't that great when the banelings were running in, but it almost seemed like the like kind of the natural split that he had going on worked against him somewhat, because
Yeah, I
the
agree.
majority of what was coming from Zerg came from the right side, the north right side, so it was able to kind of just tear through the line as opposed to line versus line. So.
It wasn't that great of a concave. It was more of a, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So at any rate, that is going to put Integrity Gaming up 3-0 against Team Killing Spree. They are on the back foot now.